Have you noticed that getting up from your favorite chair feels a bit harder these days? Or that climbing just one flight of stairs leaves your legs unusually tired? If that sounds familiar, don't brush it off as just getting older. What you're experiencing might be the very first sign of something far more serious. And here's the part nobody tells you. Leg weakness is often the first red flag your body raises, not just about aging, but about losing independence, mobility, and in some cases, your safety. Now, before we go further, let me ask you a simple question. Would you rather wait until your legs give out during a walk, or take charge now while you still have time? Because in today's video, I'm going to show you why your legs are the first to weaken as you age, the science behind this silent decline, and most importantly, 3 incredibly simple, affordable foods that can help reverse the damage and bring strength and stability back into your lower body, naturally. So if you're a senior who wants to stay active, prevent falls, and move through life with confidence, this is the video you've been waiting for. But first, just a quick favor. If you find yourself nodding along already, hit the like button to support this content. It helps more seniors find these life-changing tips. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to this channel and turn on the bell so you never miss another video that could protect your health. Let's talk about something that's been deeply clear to me after 10 years of working with older adults in clinics, community centers, and rehab facilities. The body doesn't age all at once. The decline is selective. And unfortunately, your legs are often hit first. Around the age of 40, your body begins to lose muscle mass at a slow rate, about 1% per year. But by the time you hit 60 or 70, that process accelerates rapidly. This condition is called sarcopenia, and it affects every single person unless you actively work to stop it. And your legs? They bear the brunt of this muscle loss. Why? Because they're the most used, most weight-bearing, and most essential muscles in your body. Just think about it. Every time you sit and stand, every step you take to the kitchen or mailbox, every moment you spend chasing your grandchildren around the park, your legs are doing the heavy lifting. So when muscle loss begins, it's your legs that sound the alarm first. The signs are subtle at first. You hold the railing more tightly when climbing stairs. You start choosing elevators over escalators. You catch yourself needing more rest during simple walks. But don't ignore those signs. Here's where the real concern lies. Weakened legs are the #1 predictor of future falls in seniors. And falls? They're not just minor accidents. They're the leading cause of injury-related death among adults over 65. Even one fall can mean months or years of lost mobility, rehab, or worse. But here's the good news. This isn't a one-way street. You can absolutely rebuild leg strength, even in your 70s or 80s. The key is knowing what your muscles need to thrive. And surprisingly, it doesn't start with exercise. It starts with food. You see, most people think building strong legs requires lifting weights or doing squats, but in reality, your diet plays an equally, if not more, important role. Your muscles can't rebuild if they don't have the right raw materials, the right nutrients, the right fuel. And believe it or not, you don't need an expensive gym membership, personal trainer, or miracle supplement. You need knowledge. You need the right foods. You need a plan. And that's exactly what I'm about to give you. So now that you know why your legs weaken and the hidden dangers of ignoring it, what can you do? That's what we'll explore next. In the following sections, I'll reveal 3 powerful foods that I've recommended to countless seniors. Foods that have helped them regain control, confidence, and yes, even joy in movement again. These aren't exotic superfoods or overpriced pills. They're items you can find in your own kitchen or at your local grocery store. And the third one in particular? It's a food many seniors mistakenly avoid, even though it could be the very thing they need most. So stay with me, because in just a moment, you'll discover how a few simple changes at the dinner table could change your legs and your life for years to come. Oh, and before we continue, drop a comment below if any of this hit home for you. Have you noticed signs of leg weakness recently? Let me know in the comments. Your story might help others feel less alone. Now, are you ready? Let's dive into the first key food that could become your greatest ally in the fight against aging legs. Spoiler alert, it's delicious, versatile, and backed by science. Let's get started. Why your legs weaken first, and what that really means. Let me ask you a personal question. When was the last time you walked up a flight of stairs without feeling the need to pause? Or stood up from your couch without that subtle push from your hands? You see, These aren't just passing inconveniences. They're early warnings, signals your body is quietly sending out. And as someone who has worked with older adults for over a decade, I can tell you with absolute clarity. The legs are the first part of the body to show signs of age-related muscle decline. Why the legs? Because they're your foundation. Just like the foundation of a house bears the entire structure, your legs carry the full weight of your daily life. They're constantly in motion, walking, standing, rising, bending, balancing. They're not only your support system, they're your freedom. But what happens when the foundation begins to crack? Let's break this down. Microscope the hidden culprit, sarcopenia. Starting as early as your 40s, your body begins a gradual, often invisible process called sarcopenia, a natural decline in muscle mass and strength. At first, it might seem insignificant, 1% loss of muscle per year. But over time, especially after 60, that rate can double, and it adds up fast. By age 70 or 75, many seniors have lost up to 20 to 30% of their total muscle mass. That's not just a number. It's your mobility, your strength, your ability to move confidently through the world. Now, you might wonder, why does this affect the legs first? Here's the answer. Because your leg muscles are not only the largest muscle groups in your body, they're also the most demanding. Every time you stand, walk, or even shift weight from one foot to another, they're working. And when your body starts withdrawing from its muscle savings account, the legs are the first to take the hit. Think of it like this. Imagine your body's strength like a bank account. In your youth, you made constant deposits through movement, nutrition, and activity. But as you age, the body begins making withdrawals, especially if you're not eating enough protein or staying active. Because the legs are used so frequently, those withdrawals show up faster and earlier than in your arms or core. And that's exactly why one of the first noticeable signs of aging is struggling to get up from a low seat, avoiding stairs, feeling wobbly or hesitant on uneven ground. These aren't just quirks of aging. They are your internal warning system, and you should never ignore them. Warning from subtle signs to serious risks. Now here's where things get critical. When your legs weaken, it's not just about feeling tired. It's about your balance. It's about your safety. It's about your independence. Research shows that seniors with reduced leg strength are far more likely to experience a fall. And falls aren't just bumps and bruises. They're the leading cause of injury-related death among adults over 65. And sadly, the consequences of a single fall can stretch far beyond the injury itself. Months of recovery, lost confidence, or even permanent mobility issues. But here's the part that fills me with hope every time I speak to someone like you. Leg strength can be rebuilt. Even in your 70s or 80s. You are not powerless. You are not broken. You just need the right tools and the right support. Compass, let this be your turning point. So if you've noticed your legs feeling heavier, slower, or just not as steady as they used to be, you are not alone. But you also don't have to accept it as your new normal. Because up next, we're going to explore the first of 3 specific foods, ones that I've seen work wonders for seniors in my care. Foods that help restore strength from within. Foods that help protect your balance. Foods that fuel the muscles that carry your every step. So take a breath, stay with me, and let's begin this journey back to strength, one bite at a time. In the next section, we'll dive into one of the most powerful leg-building foods nature has to offer. It's delicious, affordable, and supported by science. And it might already be sitting in your pantry. Let's take a closer look. Now that we understand why the legs are the first to weaken, and how dangerous that process can be, it's time to talk about what you can do to stop it. Here's something most doctors don't emphasize enough, but I've seen it firsthand in hundreds of seniors I've worked with over the past decade. When it comes to rebuilding muscle strength and stability in older adults, nutrition isn't just important, it's foundational. In fact, I've seen seniors turn their leg strength around, not by hitting the gym, but by changing what's on their plate. We often hear about exercise, resistance training, or balance work, and yes, those are helpful. But if your body doesn't have the raw materials it needs to repair muscle tissue, those exercises won't do much good. Muscles don't grow just because you move them. They grow because you feed them. And that brings us to a powerful and often overlooked truth. Food is your first medicine. The biology of rebuilding strength. Let me break this down simply. When you eat protein-rich foods, your body breaks that protein down into amino acids, which then travel to your muscles to repair microscopic tears and rebuild mass. But not all proteins are created equal. Some are harder for older bodies to absorb, especially as digestion and hormone levels shift with age. That's why choosing the right types of foods becomes even more important the older we get. In my experience, there are 3 categories of food that I consistently recommend to older adults who want to reclaim the strength in their legs. Foods rich in anti-inflammatory omega-3s to reduce joint stiffness and muscle breakdown. Foods that deliver high-quality, bioavailable protein to actively repair and restore muscle tissue. Foods that support bone health and circulation, because strong legs also depend on healthy bones and blood flow. Now here's the best part. These foods aren't rare or exotic. They're affordable, widely available, and can be prepared in simple ways, even if cooking isn't your thing. And I'm not talking about supplements or expensive powders. I'm talking about real, whole foods, the kind your grandmother probably cooked. Lightbulb nutrition versus age, a story from my practice. Let me share a true story, one that still inspires me. I worked with a woman named June, 74 years old, who told me she felt like her legs had lost their spark. She couldn't make it across the grocery store without stopping to rest. Stairs terrified her. She wasn't in pain, but she was unstable, tired, and frustrated. She had tried walking more, but it didn't help much. She assumed it was just age catching up. But when we looked at her diet, the problem became clear. She was eating too little protein, skipping breakfast, and avoiding dairy due to outdated fears about fat. We made a few small but strategic changes. Added Greek yogurt with berries and flax seeds in the morning. Incorporated salmon or canned tuna twice a week. And introduced sautéed spinach and kale with olive oil at dinner. 3 months later, she walked into my office without her cane. "I'm not running marathons," she said, "but I'm walking again without fear." White heavy checkmark. You don't need a doctor. You need a fork. The beauty of nutrition is that it doesn't require a prescription. You don't need insurance coverage or complicated routines. You just need a willingness to start small and stay consistent. And you don't need to overhaul your entire diet overnight. In fact, it's better if you don't. Start with 1 meal a day that supports your leg health. Then build from there. Because every small improvement you make in your diet today becomes a building block for strength tomorrow. Repeat button. What comes next? So what are these power foods I keep mentioning? In the next few minutes, we'll dive into the first one, perhaps the most powerful of all. It's rich in protein, loaded with anti-inflammatory nutrients, and supports not just your legs, but your heart, brain, and joints too. It's fatty fish, and it might just be your new best friend. But before we move on, backhand index pointing out, I want to hear from you. Have you ever noticed a change in your strength when you changed your diet? Or maybe you're struggling with what to eat to feel stronger. Drop a comment below. I read every single one. Your experience could help someone else who's just starting this journey. Now, let's explore the first food that can truly rebuild strength from within and set your legs on the path back to power. Stay strong, stay independent. It starts with a bite. Let's take a moment to recap. We talked about why your legs are often the first to weaken as you age, how sarcopenia, reduced muscle activity, and subtle imbalances can quietly steal your strength, one step at a time. But we also talked about hope. We explored 3 simple, everyday foods that can help you rebuild strength, regain confidence, and support your legs for the long haul. Fatty fish, loaded with omega-3s and muscle-healing protein. Dairy products, rich in calcium and complete amino acids. Leafy greens, packed with magnesium, potassium, and bone-protecting vitamin K. These aren't magic pills or hard-to-find supplements. They're real foods. They're affordable. And they're waiting for you, right now, in your local grocery store. If there's one message I hope you take from this video, it's this. You are not stuck. You can grow stronger at any age. No matter where you're starting from, whether you feel wobbly today or just want to prevent weakness tomorrow, every step you take toward better nutrition is a step toward strength, balance, and independence. Start small. Stay consistent. And most importantly, don't give up on your legs. They haven't given up on you. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Backhand index pointing out, drop a comment below and share. What's one food you're going to start eating this week to support your legs? Or what tip from today's video inspired you the most? I read every comment, and your story could truly help someone else. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. It tells the platform this is information worth spreading. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a video that supports your strength, your health, and your future. Because here, we're not just aging, we're aging stronger, together. Thank you for spending this time with me. Until next time, stay well, stay active, and keep taking care of those incredible legs of yours. I'll see you in the next video.